You're still wasting time and money because you got a vision, right? One that feels electric. A version of you that's focused, disciplined, and actually doing all the things you say you'll do. You can practically taste the freedom, the impact, and more you. But then your alarm goes off. The gap, it hits you. It's the gap between the person you are in your head and the one who just wants to scroll for 10 more minutes or shove the most important thing to the bottom of the to-do list. It feels like you're dragging chains through mud every single day. Look, I get it. I've been there. I'm not an exception to the rule, but I do feel inclined to tell you a secret. The secret to closing that gap is not hustling harder or finding this mythical, magical discipline switch. It's that one tiny, powerful mental shift. The one thing you need to do. This one thing to unlock infinite motivation that'll change the game. But first, we need to talk about the pain. It is so painful, so very much painful to know you're capable of more. See, you buy beautiful planners that look great on the shelf, right? You watch the gurus. You set huge, fire-breathing New Year's resolutions year after year. And for a moment, you feel that surge of energy, that surge of motivation. So you clean your desk, you make a perfect schedule, and you think, I'm back. But then it all fades. The bonfire becomes this tiny, sad little match flame. The promises you made to yourself get postponed, the workouts get skipped, the side project is gathering digital dust, and that little voice in the back of your head starts whispering to you, see, I told you, you don't have what it takes. You're a dreamer, not a doer. This cycle of starting and stopping is soul crushing. Every single time you don't follow through, you hand deliver evidence to your internal prosecutor arguing your case that you are destined to stay right where you are. That's the lie we believe. We start to think that some people are just born with it and we miss the darn memo. But let's talk about why willpower fails. So we've all been given this conventional wisdom, so they say, because we were told just be more disciplined, take a cold shower, find the perfect routine. It's all in your diet. So we tried to use our willpower as a sledgehammer to force us to do things that we dread. But that's like trying to fix leaky pipes by yelling at them. It's the wrong tool. Relying on sheer grit is exhausting. It's a battle you have to fight every single day. It's a recipe for burnout. And then there's the SMART goal advice. Specific, measurable, achievable. It's great, but incomplete. You can have the most perfectly crafted, beautiful goal on the planet, but if you don't have that deep internal drive to attract what you want, that goal just becomes another pretty little source of guilt on your to-do list. These solutions treat the symptom, the lack of action, instead of the root cause. The problem isn't your work ethic, it's your math's not mathing. So it's time for an aha moment. I'm talking about formula of the motivation. Here's the one tiny mental shift that changed everything for me. You need to understand that motivation isn't a feeling that you wait for, like waiting for it to rain outside. It's the result of a formula. It comes from a powerful framework in psychology called expectancy value theory. The idea is simple. Your motivation for any task comes from two things multiplied together. Motivation equals expectancy times value. Expectancy is your belief that you can succeed. It's your answer to the question, if I really try, do I think I can pull this off? Value is how much you want the outcome. The question is, do I actually care about this? Here's the kicker. The part we tend to miss, they multiply. So if either one is zero, your motivation zero, you can have a goal that you value more than life itself. But if you have a zero belief that you can do it, you will not move. Motivation is zero. Conversely, you could be at 100% confident that you can alphabetize your paper clips. But if you place zero value on that task, your motivation is still zero. Look, I wanted to build my own business for years. The value at first was a 10 out of 10 because I dreamed of the impact, but I was stuck in neutral. Why? My expectancy was hovering around the 1 out of 10. I saw others succeed and thought, They're different. They're smarter. See, my low belief completely canceled out how much I wanted it. And it wasn't until I stopped asking, how can I get more motivated? And started asking, how can I genuinely increase my belief that I can do this? That's when everything changed. That is when everything changed. This shift in focus from trying to chase to attracting, the feeling to building an eternal belief system, it's not just a tweak. It's a complete overhaul of how you approach success and honestly, how you approach life. Look, we're in the middle of what I like to call a midlife conversation, where you realize the old rules just don't work anymore. You need real, tangible tools. You need to stop waiting for inspiration and start engineering your own results. If you're ready for that kind of transformation, the kind built on proof, not just hope, you should hit that subscribe button right now. You'll be joining a community of people learning to be builders, not just dreamers. Go ahead, subscribe, and let's get back to the final, most important steps. So here is the one thing you need to focus on. I'm not going to hold you, no cap. Stop obsessing over motivation and start obsessively engineering ways to increase your expectancy. You have to build undeniable, irrefutable proof of your own ability. This is how you create this upward spiral. It starts by engineering something very small, almost insultingly easy to win. This is not about chasing cheap dopamine hits to check boxes. It's about building genuine competence and skill. If you want to write a book, your goal isn't to write for 3 hours, it's to write one great bomb paragraph. If you want to get fit, your goal isn't to crush a 90-minute gym session. It's about you working or putting on workout clothes and walking for 10 minutes. When you hit that tiny goal, you get a small but powerful piece of evidence. See, you told yourself you would do something and you did it. Your expectancy score just nudged up. Because your belief is a little higher, the next small step feels a little easier. So you do it again, and that's a loop. Action builds belief. Belief makes the next action easier. Easier action leads to consistency. And consistency, it creates undeniable proof that you are the kind of person who follows through. You're no longer fighting the brute force battle of willpower. You're playing a smarter game. The game of gathering evidence for your own success. I love that for you.